He's saying I'm short. So you guys are cool for staying this late, number one. And number two, this piece is for my dad, for all your dads, and every father's, all the way to Adam, if you believe in that. My dad, the Marlboro man, cigarette smoker, handsome, black hair slicked back. I swear he could have been the one in the ads had he been white and born 2 decades later. The original of the cigarette cowboys was 28 and 54. My dad was born in 55. The Marlboro man was an American myth, an image of a stoic, strong, disciplined man in the spirit of John Wayne, who packed a mean carton of cigarettes and an even meaner attitude. He went around posing the same slogan, "Come to where the flavor is, come to Marlboro country." This meant, of course, real men smoke Marlboro Red. My dad's strength was tested when at 56, he discovered he had a prostate-related bladder problem. After an exam or two, they thought they might have found something. In his own words, "They're gonna need to stick a metal thingy in my ass to see if I have cancer. Can you believe it?" Says, shaking his head. I sighed. It took something more than strength to get Dad to his appointment. When that day came, Dad and I took a ride through a wilderness of uncertainty. Riding in the car with the Marlboro man on his 7th cigarette on the way to the doctor's. Cool, collected, which means he's terrified. We know the destination, but we're driving in circles. They're gonna cut a piece to find traces of the bruise. He dreads the man who'll touch his manhood. No man should let another man cut too deep. If it means to treat an arrow, better not to know at all. Not to know at all. Not to know at all. I'm in the passenger seat, about 3 feet away, but I need an airplane to get to you. Silence is a bomb about to implode. I'm bearing your wounds and holding space. There's a daddy-sized wound where his heart should be. It's the size of New Orleans where ghosts gather on streets, named after fathers that never came through. On the way to the clinic, we fight and argue. Thank you, I noticed that. Anything to keep him driving forward. On the way to the clinic, we fight and argue. Anything to keep him driving forward. He curses, I curse back, holding space for a man whose affections were always at best dull. It's gonna be a 200 million jackpot today, he says. I've been playing the same numbers for the last 11 years. I need to play my numbers. I'll play your numbers later, Dad, I reply. I have bills to pay too, he continues. I respond, there won't be anyone to pay your bills if you get sick. The house is a mess with plates in the sink, floors need mopping, and the laundry's not done. Instead, I'm getting screwed in the ass to see if I got cancer. You're not getting screwed in the ass, Dad. You're getting a tiny piece of your prostate removed so they can examine and clear you of anything. He continues, I was catching up on my favorite shows last night and noticed the networks are crawling with faggots everywhere, he says. You can't watch a show without running into one of them. I don't know why, but when I see them, I want to punch through the television screen and wring their necks. I don't know why. I don't know why, he finishes. He knows, of course, I'm gay, but I put this last comment aside. There's no time to do any damage control. It's about him. Instead, I want to ask him, Dad, did anyone ever touch you growing up? But I dare not go beyond Marlboro country. I know too well its limits, its boundaries, its arid, rust-red landscape. I think this must be what it feels like to be Roland, the gunslinger in the Wastelands of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. My voice feels lost in a labyrinth in my throat. I want to scream and shake this elephant in the room, shake out all the denial. I can't, so instead I sing to myself. Riding in the car with the Marlboro man. My old man don't like queers, but he ain't got a choice, he says. Son, be a man, do it right the first time. He's trying to get through me to get to himself. He says that you're just a queer who thinks he knows it all. I'm taking back the rein and driving due west. I'm in the passenger seat, about 3 feet away, but I need an airplane to get to you. Father likes the freedom of the open road, but he can't find a highway when he's looking for his past. A man faced with his fate looks like a little boy, and the only way out is to come through the wound. Let's go to Uncle Mel's up in Ellenville and go fishing instead. Wait. Let's go to Uncle Mel's up in Ellenville and go fishing instead. I sighed. He's wanted to go fishing with me for years but never does. There's something that happens when fathers make promises they can't seem to keep. A kind of soul loss, a schism of heart and mind. You space out, disassociate, and go elsewhere, anywhere. Dad stops driving and we pause in a parking lot that feels like one of those old drive-by cinemas, where hungry ghosts replay in that instance on the screens of our lives. I just don't want to feel, he says. I just want not to feel. Why can't I just be allowed not to feel? I respond, I don't want to lose the Marlboro man. Riding in the car with the Marlboro man, I thought he was a god till I pulled the curtain down. Revealed a little boy pulling machinery of fear, and iron John in chains, he won't let the beast scream. It's hard for him to love when he ain't been loved, but I've enough love for the two of us. I'm in the passenger seat, about 3 feet away. I need an airplane to get to you. Father don't ride horses, but he drives 100 cars. I swear you've had more cars than you said I love you. There's a little boy in him who famines for love, waiting to come through on the other side of this great China wall that runs from me to you. I stand before him and he sees his little boy. By the time we get to the doctor's office, we've waited about 45 minutes. I turn to him and become that little boy of about 5 or 6, listening to thunder outside a window that scares me. I run to the man who takes me in his arm and I fall asleep, feeling safe in his Marlboro country. I want to give him this now. A tall blonde woman, perhaps a Russian, comes out of a revolving door in the clinic and announces his name. Alfonso? My dad turns and smiles a nervous grin. It is she who will cut a piece out of my dad and ready it for inspection. I'm coming in now. I'm scared, he says. Not of the anal probe or the cut, but the results afterwards. I'm in the passenger seat, about 3 feet away, but I need an airplane to get to you. To everyone else, the Marlboro man, the coolest man I've never known. I recall your praise for everyone's son. All I ever wanted was all of you. There's a daddy-sized wound where my heart should be. It's the size of Memphis where the devil plays the blues. Wide as the Atlantic and deep as my love. A few weeks later, test was clean. No cancer or any traces of the blues anywhere. The Marlboro man lives on, but of course he would.